All right, this is page 3.30, and we are going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines today. So when I have two lines that are parallel, we know our symbol is this. When I have two lines that are perpendicular, this is our symbol. The slope of the line, how much it's like tilted, its change. Parallel lines have the same exact slope. So if I give you two lines and they have the same slope, then I know that these are parallel. Perpendicular lines have what we call a flip change slope. That's a flip change slope. All right, so we're going to practice our flip changes. Flip. Sorry, my pen is writing really bad today. All right, so if I have 3/4, if I flip it, it becomes 4/3. And right now it's positive, so I change it to be negative. So the flip change for 3/4 is negative 4/3. The flip change for 2, I'm going to make it into a fraction. Then I'm going to flip it. 1/2. That one's positive, so mine has to be negative. That's my flip change. Number 3, I'm going to flip it to be 8/7. This one's already negative, so I'm just going to leave that one positive. Number 4, I have to make it 1/1. When I flip it, it's still 1/1, but the first one's positive and mine would be negative. You could also just write -1. That would be the same thing. Now, for this one, if my slope is 0, my line looks like that. For its flip change, the line would turn and look like that. So it's 0 or undefined slope, which just means an up and down line. Now we're going to work on some examples of that. So we remember from the other day that slope equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So what this is asking us to do is find the slope of this and find the slope of these and compare them to decide whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So x1, y1, x2, y2, y2, 6, minus y1, 3, divided by x2 is a 2, minus x1 is a -2. When you type that in just your regular calculator, it tells you that the slope is 3/4. Now, I'm going to do the slope of the next group. x1, y1, x2, y2, y2, 3 minus y1 is a 0 over x2 is a 3 minus -1 is x1. When I type that in my calculator, I get 3/4. Okay? So I've got a 3/4 and a 3/4. Those are exactly the same. That means that if it's the same slope, those lines are parallel. All right? If I were to do this next one, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the slope for the first line is 2/5, and the slope for the next line is -5/2. All right? If I start with 2/5 and I flip it, it becomes a 5/2, and I change it, it becomes negative. So these guys are a flip change. So that means if I graph those lines, they would be perpendicular. Now I'm going to do the slope of this one is, I'm just going to tell you, it's negative 2 over 3. The slope of CD right here is 1 over 4. Well, those are not the same, so it's not parallel. Those are not a flip change because they're random numbers, so that means that these are neither. They're just two random lines that maybe they could look like that, whoops, like that, as opposed to being perpendicular or parallel. All right, I would like for you to use your formula, find the slope of A, fill it in the box. I'll go ahead and tell you the slope of this one is a 3. So then I need you to tell me, is it parallel, perpendicular, or neither? All right, when you're done with number 4, flip over to the next page. On this page, I have filled in all of your slopes for you, and all I need you to do is fill in the yellow box with either same slope, flip change, or neither. When you are done, turn over to page 3.34. Whoops. We're going to review slope-intercept form, and that is y equals mx plus b. M is our slope, which is our rise over run. And remember, if we rise and go to the left, it's negative. If we rise and go to the right, it's positive. Our b is known as our y-intercept, and that is where on that up and down line is the dot. So I'm going to look at this graph. I'm going to tell you my slope, and I'm going to tell you where it's crossing. My slope is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I rose 4, and I run 1, 2. I run 2. I ran out of room. That's what I did. And then my B is right here where that dot is crossing, and that would be at negative 4. So if I write my equation, I'm going to write y equals 4 over 2x minus 4. So that is my slope-intercept form for number 1. Number 2, I need an M. Rise over run. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to rise 4. And I'm running to the left, so I know I'm going to have a negative slope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I ran 5. I didn't write, but I did it. Okay, and then my B is where the dot is on the up and down line. That would be at negative 2. So my equation is y equals negative 4 over 5x minus 2. I need you to do number 3, and remember that will have a negative slope. All right, number 4, we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to graph them. So it starts at negative 1, dot on negative 1. I'm going to rise 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's positive. I'm going to run 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm just going to draw my line. All right, this one, I got to add a 1 over 1 in front of that x. I'm going to start at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's going to go off the graph. I've got to rise 1 and run negative 1. So that one goes right there. I would like for you to graph number 6. It doesn't have a B, so we know that it's a plus 0. So everything is going to start on 0, then you'll rise 1 and run 2. All right, finish that up and turn it in. Thank you.